Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into something important, figuring out the best ways to support children with autism.
Exactly.
We're using a source called a mind map for parents of children with autism. It's meant to be like a clear guide through what can feel like a lot of confusing information. So our goal today is to pull out the really practical stuff for you, the key insights, and maybe even some surprising things that could change.
Yeah.
How does AI actually play a part in something so, personal?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because the mind map really hammers home that idea of time is brain. Early identification is just so critical.
Right.
It's not just about getting the diagnosis. It's about doing it quickly and accurately. That opens up vital windows for support. And that's where AI, even in simple forms, can be a bit of a game changer.
So what does that actually look like? I mean, the source mentions online tools like CARS, that's the Childhood Autism Rating Scale, and AGS, the Autism Global Outcomes Scale.
Approaches, and even AI can offer a solid structure for parents, for caregivers,
Okay.
from, getting that early diagnosis right through to building that strong support network around the family. It all connects.
All right, let's dive in then. The mind map starts where you'd expect, early screening and diagnosis. But what kind of jumped out at me was the role of AI here.
Yeah.
How does AI actually play a part in something so, personal?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because the mind map really hammers home that idea of time is brain. Early identification is a changer.
So what does that actually look like? I mean, the source mentions online tools like CARS, that's the Childhood Autism Rating Scale, and AGS, the Autism Global Outcomes Scale, things parents can access. But then it also mentions using like Google feedback forms for quick info gathering. That almost sounds too basic.
It's interesting, isn't it? It broadens how we think about AI supported. It might not be super complex AI all the time.
Okay.
Even a smart Google form, maybe one that uses some logic to sort responses, can really speed up gathering that initial information.
Ah, I see.
It helps get the right details to the right people faster, saves valuable time. And pulling info quickly from places like hospitals, universities, research groups, it helps everyone update how they screen and diagnose faster.
Right, speeding up those first steps.
Exactly, optimizing those first interactions.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's say we have that diagnosis maybe a bit quicker, thanks to some of these tools. The next big challenge the mind map tackles is making sure interventions are not just early, but synchronized.
Yes. Home, school, therapy.
Yeah.
It means everyone's pulling in the same direction. It reinforces learning and avoids confusing the child.
The source talks about developing a unified intervention plan. So this isn't just about everyone sort of agreeing loosely.
No, it's much more concrete. It's the actual roadmap. It ensures every adult, every setting is using compatible strategies, reinforcing the same goals. It creates synergy.
And it's not just for the therapy room. The mind map says expand this into schools, preschools, specialized.
Think about it like teaching a child anything complex. You need consistency.
Yeah.
A unified approach across home, school, therapy.
Yeah.
It means everyone's pulling in the same direction. It reinforces learning and avoids confusing the child.
The source talks about developing a unified intervention plan. So this isn't just about everyone sort of agreeing loosely.
No, it's much more concrete. It's the actual roadmap. It ensures every adult, every setting is using compatible strategies, reinforcing the same goals. It creates synergy.
And it's not just for the therapy room. The mind map says expand this into schools, preschools, is key, experts, doctors, families, all actively involved. The source even pushes for using digital tools for tracking progress. It talks about aiming for a unified data view.
Teachers, therapists, all looking at the same up-to-date information. That shared understanding is incredibly powerful.
So linking that all together.
Yeah, if you connect the dots, this synchronization means the whole support system is working together smoothly, which is just vital for the child's overall development.
Yeah.
Prevents wasted effort, burnout, all that stuff.
Okay, so we've got this unified approach, but autism is so varied. What about tailoring it? The deep dive strongly pushes for personalizing intervention.
Yes, absolutely.
It sounds good, obviously. But how do you keep it personalized over time? Does the mind map talk about how often you reassess or how parents...
I think every child is unique. Unique needs, unique strengths, unique responses. The mind map implies these constant feedback loops are vital. Again, AI-supported digital records can really help here. They allow for quicker, more responsive adjustments to the plan. Almost in real time sometimes.
And the source gives some specific ways to do this. It mentions specialized schools' involvement. These schools are hubs for implementing these plans. And it notes that those AI-supported digital records can help tailor the actual teaching strategies for each kid, so the school becomes dynamic.
Exactly right. And family engagement. Well, that's just non-negotiable, isn't it?
Seems obvious, but often overlooked, maybe.
For your life.
Right, turning everyday moments into supportive ones.
Yes. The mind map really encourages that active family role, sharing materials, supporting each other.
Then there's this idea of optimizing intervention timing, making sure the different supports from doctors, families, schools kick in at the right moment based on the child's specific needs.
It's like conducting an orchestra. Play their part at the right time for the best result. It ensures the interventions grow with the child. They don't stay static.
That dynamic aspect feels crucial.
It is, for making sure the support remains effective long term.
So we've personalized the overall plan, but what about zooming in? The mind map really focuses on tackling something specific it calls skills delay.
Ah, yes. And this is often where the really detailed work happens, moving from general support to very targeted help.
So what exactly is skills delay in this context?
Well, it basically means a child is developing certain skills, could be motor skills, language, social skills, anything later than their peers typically would.
Okay.
And it needs specific focus because these delays aren't uniform. They can affect learning and life in very specific ways, and you need to know which skills are delayed.
The mind map breaks this down. First, understanding skills delay. It says you need individual assessments, really detailed ones.
Not just a general checkup. It's about pinpointing. Is the delay in imitating a gesture, understanding a social rule, recognizing.
And understanding that specific delay lifts to the second part, developing targeted intervention plans.
Exactly. The mind map stresses you need to assess these skills before and after the intervention.
Right, to measure progress.
Yes, and to design the plan specifically to close that particular skill.
It's a real focus point.
It brings a level of precision that's key for effective intervention. You can actually see the impact. It builds confidence too for the child, for the parents, for the professionals.
That precision.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about where this all happens best. Which brings us to a point the mind map touches on, maybe briefly, but it feels important. Designing inclusive education programs. This isn't just a nice idea, is it? It feels fundamental.
Absolutely. Even if the source is brief here, the idea is huge. It's about shifting away from just separate settings and finding ways for children with autism to truly thrive are the constant. So empowering them, giving them the tools, the shared data.
Yeah.
It means the intervention doesn't just happen in sessions. It's woven into daily life.
Right. Turning everyday moments into supportive ones.
Yes. The mind map really encourages that active family role, sharing materials, supporting each other.
Then there's this idea of optimizing intervention timing, making sure the different supports from doctors, families, schools kick in at the right moment based on the child's specific needs.
It's like conducting an orchestra. Everyone needs to play their part at the right time for the best result. It ensures the
Okay, so finally, the mind map brings it all together with the idea of building a strong community, a collaboration and support network.
Not just for the child, but equally for the parents, the caregivers. It's about resources, sure, but also that emotional support, that shared understanding, fighting the isolation.
The source outlines some ways to make this collaboration work. It really emphasizes working with therapists and educators, close teamwork between schools, families, medical teams, supporting the child's growth from all angles, not just siloed effort.
Yes, active members of the team, not just people receiving services, fostering that understanding and respect within the family and the wider network too.
And the last piece is sharing resources and best practices, getting everyone to share what works, what they've learned.
Like a collective intelligence pool.
Yeah. So everyone benefits, interventions get better, and it all contributes to the child's success.
It does raise a key question, though, doesn't it? How do we make sure parents feel truly empowered to build and use these networks so they don't feel alone on this journey?
That's a really important point. Well, what a journey through this mind map for parents of children with autism. We've touched on accelerating early diagnosis, the power of synchronized and personalized support.
That focus on specific skill delays.
Right. The goal of inclusive education and tying it all together with collaboration and that vital support network. It really feels like this deep dive gives you a shortcut to getting up to speed on what truly makes a difference.
I think so. It reinforces that knowledge, yes, but also coordinated action and community are just so incredibly important, building a system where all the parts work together effectively.
So here's something to think about. Consider how these integrated strategies, if everyone involved
Free audio post-production by auphonic.com.